crucial carry on the side of Flash Wolves.
That's what it comes down to. They need to empower Maple and give him the tools to step up and to be a playmaker and a primary carry for the team.
I'm ready for a Zed. Let's see a Zed. Bring it back.
That's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. If it happens, what do you do then? Because
Well, I hope
you
he
said that
uses
other things wasn't going to happen.
championship skin.
Oh, okay. No, if it was more in terms of like a bet or something, because before you're like, oh, the Vel'Koz is never going to get locked in twice. So.
Well, I only said that once against the Bard, but yeah, as he was speaking, I think that the Ashe priority definitely has to come in, because what's happening is that I feel like they're putting so much emphasis onto the Nidalee. There's a lot of picks that are very powerful, but that are not going through, such as the Jace. And this is just a matter of the meta that's developing within the game. That if you stick to the picks that you think are really good, but aren't really working, then you really struggle, and that's what's happening. Karthus is having an amazing score line, but he's really not doing a whole lot outside of that. He gets caught, and if you don't really snowball very quickly on the Nidalee, you can't do a whole lot, especially if you don't have tanks on
Yeah, contrasted to Move, who just goes to that Rek'Sai and just plays out of his mind as well. Bans for the Flash Wolves. The first two are in there, Bard and Cassiopeia, and then Syndra, of course, from the Unicorns of Love, as we have come to know, and it's probably 100% banned in this tournament on the red side.
Yeah, I think this time the Cassiopeia ban is just indicative of them wanting to take that Rise again. They probably felt like they could have done a whole lot of playmaking if the Rise was not against Cassiopeia, just because of the matchup. I mean, we saw just how bad it was, as Frost has mentioned. You got to look at Cassiopeia dead in the eyes, and you just get petrified. And immediately they recognized that Cassiopeia was their answer. They tried and they got foiled, so now they got to make a new one.
I mean, honestly, Flash Wolves could just go back to Orianna. They played it in the first game into... All right, never mind, sorry. My notes are backwards. They didn't do it. They played it in the last... They played in the other series.
I don't know what that was, but just continue going.
All right.
No, I would never do that without warning everybody, anybody. So Syndra and Rise to ban, so as you can say, that plan of maybe first picking that Rise is not what they can do. They're going to ban out the Tahm Kench again. Maybe that Bard ban comes in again. We'll see what the Unicorns of Love want to do and what then the Flash Wolves go to as a first pick. Somebody start talking because I have to laugh.
I think the priority has to be the Olaf or the Poppy or the Ashe. It's been the two picks that are really remaining here that are really important, although Karma might go through the bans and we might see it be picked. But currently there's just so much on the pool that if you just pick whatever you're comfortable with, and most importantly, what is a playmaking pick, then you will be fine. The Poppy gets taken away. So Ashe is a likely pick here, although there is a possibility of Karma as well.
I actually really like the fact that they take Poppy off the board. I think Flash Wolves really should have addressed that champion earlier because it's very useful for a lot of the compositions that they're running. But more important, Poppy's a very conservative top laner. Like if you're going to try to consolidate the discrepancy between MMD and Vizicsacsi, you know, put him on something like Poppy, put him on something like Echo, something that's hard to punish. So it limits his options there and kind of opens up that if they go toe-to-toe, carry versus carry, Vizicsacsi's going to continue to abuse him.
Yeah, it's not something that we see a whole lot of, but MMD, like last year when he first came out, you know, in the scene in LMS was really kind of like a Maokai bot. Like it was constantly something that he was spamming because he had really good teleport flanks. He would join in with the team, and it's something that's very reliable. Point and click CC, not that easy to punish because he's got that sustain in lane, but it's not really going to be, you know, the most prevalent pick these days. So that is hurting him a little bit, but it will be the Ashe, as we can see on the first pickup. And I feel like Unicorns, yeah, they're going to want to go for the Karma, so you don't get that duo.
And this is just such a classic combo for the Olaf. You want to make sure that the Olaf can get in with either crazy speed ups with Sivir and Karma, or with just heavy engage. When the engage is out of the question, you go with the Karma to help him out, and this just makes that mid-game spike just so damn strong, because when Karma hits that level 9 where you can have those shields be really important in your mantra queue, the Olaf just goes full berserk.
And they're empowered to do this so much so because Ashe loses a bit of her strength simply because the Tahm Kench is banned, so there's not that option available. Excuse me, gets some of her strength, so that Tahm Kench option isn't available, as well as the Jhin also being open for Veritas, so it's still incredibly flexible as we go through this draft.
Yeah.
Wow, 17 hours difference. Words are hard. I'm like still on Sydney
blanking
time
right now. Let's just take a look at the hover.
I'm right there with you.
So Ashe, you want to combo this with, most likely what we're going to see is going to be a Zyra again from the Flash, although the Lee Sin gets locked in, which is a really nice change of pace. I'm glad that they moved away from the Nidalee. It clearly was not working. So Ashe, Zyra, very heavy utility. You have the Lee Sin, so there's a ton of playmaking potential in this bottom lane, especially at level 6, considering that the AD coming out from the Unicorns will most likely be either an Ezreal or the Jhin. So this ability at 6 should be something that the Wolves can utilize, similar to how they played game 1 in the sense of pushing down the bottom turret very quickly.
I feel like it almost forces the Ezreal in a sense, just because it is such a scary lane, but also there's the benefit that Ashe, Lee Sin, and Zyra are all fairly squishy compared to their tank counterparts, which means you're going to get a lot more out of Ezreal's damage.
The Ezreal does so well against Lee Sin into the late game. He's so difficult for Lee Sin to actually jump on and kick back into the team because you have the Arcane Shift, you have Flash, that extra mobility that not a whole lot of AD carries get. So I'm really excited to see if they do this. Unfortunately, it is a little bit risky to put the pick like Ezreal into a new AD carry.
It is, but in the previous game, we also mentioned that the squishiness of the Flash Wolves composition in the end cost them because they will be able to be 100 to 0'd a lot of times, and they didn't really have a full tank with the Gnar only half of the time. So I hope they don't make the same mistake in that and find a kind of a different addition for the top lane to roll it out.
Well, I think that they don't really have many options anymore for a tank in the top side because of the Poppy being targeted. The Echo is always available as something, but just that two-man unit that you need to go into the jungle and ward is just not going to be there. So it's really going to come down to how well can Karsa snowball. And we haven't seen him be very effective with his Flash because he has been playing so much Nidalee. So if he's really on top of the game on Lee Sin, he should be able to use that on cooldown and get some plays going.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that in the second game against Longzhu when they were able to close out with the 2-0. So they did pick up the Lee Sin. Shocked. You look a little shocked.
No, you were right. The Prophet right here.
I mean, I know MMD. I know that that's a big pick for him. So he decided to go back to it. It's not you know, the most meta pick these days, but still wants to go to something more reliable.
It does work because they do have the Kennen. I mean, obviously, if you go back to the core basics of Maokai, he works really well against big magic AoE damage, so it's not completely out of left field.
Take credit, damn it.
Yeah, and to be fair, when you pick Maokai, you basically put on tree duty, which just means you're not up to the task. We're going to give you something that no matter how hard you feed and how hard you fall behind, you're going to be able to help the team out with a point-and-click route and that big AoE damage reduction, which is going to be so important when you're dealing with the likes of the Kennen.
Yeah.
And now Exile is telling Hylissang to hover the Yasuo, which is, of course, Exile's one trick when he came into the LCS with and then expanded his pool. But that doesn't seem like they are willing to take that risk, even though the crowd is really yelling to lock it in. But it seems like they will be going for Victor.
That would be suicide to take Yasuo into what is Maokai and Lee Sin. But luckily, the Victor gets locked in, and we've seen them be very effective with this composition against TSM with the heavy AoE from the Kennen and the control mage into the mid lane. They can engage very well, considering the amount of speed they have with Karma.
I forgot to ask it at the beginning of the series, and this is match point. So predictions, is UoL going to take it home here in this game?
I believe that Unicorns will do it. I really like how they've been going, although I don't think that the Flash Wolves are to be underestimated here.
Frasco?
I'm really concerned that Flash Wolves changed Maple over into Orianna and also picked up the Ashe. I'm actually going to give it to Flash Wolves here because I think they got the right tools for success.
It's a good comp.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with the Flash Wolves. I think that MMD being back on something like the Maokai that's fairly comfortable for him. Karsa going back to the Lee Sin, there's a lot of pick potential there with that Dragon Rage kick. So that coupled with the Ashe Arrow, I think they're going to take it.
All right, 2 times Flash Wolves and 1 time the Unicorns of Love here for the Desk Casters. What do you guys think?
Interesting, something we were, of course, just discussing during the picks and bans as we move into Game 4, and I think similar to the Desk, we think that the draft may be in favor of the Flash Wolves.
Yeah, I think that the Maokai into Kennen is a very strong matchup for the Maokai, and Maokai is just naturally really good into double AP. He just ends up having with so much HP and so much sustain, and then there's casting so many spells, so he'll be able to actually survive in a lot of these skirmishes and fights.
Yeah, assuming the Maokai gets out of laning phase, gets something like a Spirit Visage, Locket's completed somewhere else, not going to take damage from the duo. The AP magic damage duo, Karma as well with the poke. So I feel like they're kind of priced in to answer a lot of what is being posed by the Unicorns of Love. And Unicorns have changed some of those comfort picks, moving away from the Rek'Sai, going for some different things. And it feels like Flash Wolves, they're in a really good spot.
Yeah. Absolutely, of course. We are now getting into Game 4 here, and the pressure has mounted for Flash Wolves. A very confident Game 1 win as they moved into the late game. But at the end of the day, not going to matter much if they get taken down games 2, 3, and 4. So the pressure is on. Everything on the line for Flash Wolves. Unicorns of Love looking to close it out here.
Oh, boy. Everybody's running straight towards that bottom bush. Here come all the pings.
Oh.
Deathmatch time, boys.
Deathmatch. Deathmatch.
Throw down the money. Let's see what happens.
There's a time for League of Legends, and there's a time for PvP level 1.
All right, let's go.
Fight time.
How many people?
Buttons! Everyone's hitting buttons, but Lee Sin is going to grab the kill. It's a bloodbath. Karsa in trouble. Unicorns Love have to be careful. They're down a man, but the Olaf axes are coming out. The heal has been used. Veritas on the way in. A lot of damage, but no kills. Veritas might fall down here. Have to be careful. Maokai point click the CC. He's going to drop. The trade's back. 2 for 1 in the favor of Flash Wolf. The action keeps happening. Exile needs to move out. 3 for 1. Flash Wolves making a statement.
Chaos style. That's how I would describe the first minute of this game.
I thought that was good for Unicorns Love.
No, the Chaos style backfires all the time. That's the point.
Well, now back to our regularly scheduled early game.
So Flash Wolves, some people on the desk are pretty much already celebrating their predictions.
I guess we'll watch it again.
Well, this is what happens when 10 people get within 2 teamos of each other and press buttons.
It's a 5-man Zyra route. You're going to come out on top after that. Amazing. But so many summoner spells are burnt, so there is a lot to actually be gained on the map afterwards. So we'll see who ends up getting ganked first, but this is just absolutely hectic. Veritas has a Q on him. The W comes in from the Maokai. Then they just trade back again. And Exile, a little too far forward, probably should have backed up ahead of time.
And just answering your point, when we actually come back to live, you'll see Lee Sin, crucially the Orianna, and Zyra all have flash available. Might actually put it to use right here.
On the way in, Veritas, a turbo kick goes forward, exhaust goes down. Karsa, is he going to overstep? Oh no, Veritas makes it out. Snare goes down, backs away.
Well, this game's got interesting and spicy really early.
That's what we like to see. Early lane phase, screw it. Fight constantly.
All we need more from this game is a pause.
Don't you wish that upon me, Papa Smithy? All right.
Oh, no.
Level 2 for Chachi, of course, does still have the range advantage. Should get early lane control, at least for now. Early kills across the board, and Flash Wolves now can control the game. They're going to be able to set the pace. Lee Sin on that first back, buying the longsword is a big difference in comfort for clear, and already making his presence known on the bottom side.
Yeah, absolutely love that he went for the level 2 gank before UoL or even level 2 themselves. That's so much pressure. They end up getting even more in terms of summoner spells out. The exhaust has to come down. So really good job there from Karsa.
I was saying trading autos.
Actually misses the mantra Q.
Letting that tree know who's boss. Now taking a lot of return damage. Not at all what he wanted in that exchange. Sword Art's still only level 1, however. I was saying has to be careful. No pots left in his inventory either, so it's going to take a long time for that health to tick back up. Move coming mid.
Yeah, pushing Orianna off to the side here. His Ghost is back up, so going bottom could actually fetch him a nice kill if he is able to run down there, but he's completely telegraphed. He just walked over about 2 wards. Now they had to back off.
Trying to focus in and get serious, but it's really hard after that level 1. But move, letting Maple know he's there. Letting him know he has to back up.
Well, right now, Vizichachi, he's trying to learn where Karsa is. Karsa's going to go over, and this will put him in a really good spot to actually come around Vizichachi, who does still have his flash, though.
Yeah, one of 2 that actually kept their flashes up from the start of the game. 2 of 9. That lets you know how much craziness there was at the start. Looking for something here.
Chachi, that's a lot of damage. Maokai maybe able to fall, but they're so tempted. Body's telling him no. Move now making his way into the mid lane, but Maple's on the top side. Ghost being
Everyone
burned.
ghosts.
Maple's flash as well.
Exile moving forward. Gravity field. A little bit of damage. Axe.
Nope.
Well, that was the first time I've seen 3 ghost uses in succession.
And usually somebody pulls off, we're like, oh, we'll never catch him, okay.
This is like the most ghosts we've seen in a single game of League of Legends in 5
I just love the bloodlust here. This is an elimination game, we have to remember. It's a potential final match of all of IEM Oakland.
Well, after you get behind like that from Unicorns of Love, you have to start making moves just like that. You have to try and get those kills back early on, or else they'll start mounting more of a lead for themselves on the Flash Wolf side, because the Flash Wolves, they definitely know how to close a game out, and Moby Boots have already come out for Karsa, and he's looking to actually just keep punishing these lanes. He's looking to be aggressive himself.
Because he can get the Moby Boots so early, he's going to be entering lanes at immense speed against guaranteed no flash. They have the exact time, but they know there's about 25, 30 seconds left before those initial flashes come back. And that's potentially another bit of snowballing from Lee Sin.
When we look at the CC and setup presence across the lane, Maple may not have some immediately available, but the Zyra on the bottom side, the Maokai on the top, Maokai especially, the point and click ability to set up those ganks. You can see Chachi already playing on the back foot. Yes, though, he does have that massive CS lead.
Absolutely, and that's the big thing, though, is Kennen, bullies Maokai early, but Maokai, once he starts getting some magic resistance, can actually solo kill Kennen if he misplays it, can't really be killed by him too easily, and has way better gank assistance with the point and click.
Probably going to have to be a modified build here from Vizicachi. I'm thinking something like Proto Belt into Void Staff. You don't have the luxury of going for anything else. You need the Proto Belt to guarantee the engage, but the Void Staff between magic resist from the Orianna shield, the stacking that's going to come through from the Maokai, and Karsa, we already saw him itemize second item more Malmortius at one of the earlier games of Lee Sin. Probably going to see him do the same thing here.
Blue buff donated over to Maple will make that mid lane that much easier. Exile, of course, with a small XP advantage as he pushes in this massive wave. Maple shouldn't struggle to clear it out, however. The early aggression seemingly tempered for now. Decent lead for Flash Wolves in the end, about 600 gold, but well, they have control of the bottom lane, and it looks to be set up for mid lane control as well. Not able to transition it quite yet.
You can reset a bit. Finally, those flashes from the level 1 are back.
So we should all go to bot and do it one more time.
That's right. That'd be an interesting scenario.
That would be amazing.
I mean, we often do see 5v5.
Hillsang, rinse and repeat. Hillsang walking away slowly. Flash is out. Has to respect the potential for the Ashe chain slow there, and Double Red and Sword Art very much in control.
I feel like Double Red could have just flashed, and another auto or two there with the slows would have been enough to take him down. Maybe he wasn't confident of the ranges. With Ashe's 600 range, I feel like he would have been in a good spot to pick up the kill, but not to be this time.
Yeah, you have to learn your ranges and also the damage potential you have on these champions. And Double Red, not somebody who's been playing AD carry for a very long time, so it may be a little bit unnatural to him to actually understand how much he's able to do and how much he's capable of. Instead, play it slow, get the flash. You know that you're going to hit level 6 and get an arrow. Might be an easy target.
Definitely a solid spot to be. Double Red backing to pick up the BF sword. 4 chain long swords coming in for Veritas. So Ashe definitely with a nice lead in this lane. The normally comfortable back timing for Jhin not a factor in that early laning phase.
Oh, this is 4 people around Exile. He's dead. He's dead.
Moving in, MMD is here for the setup. Exile gonna get locked down. Exile gonna get knocked out. Yet another kill for the Flash Wolves here. Now, finally, a 1K gold lead in their favor.
There's no control around the top side river. Allowed the Maokai to walk in, but he was the least of the problems coming. No safe way to get out there for Exile. Didn't use his flash, so we'll have that for a future gank. Does allow more kill credit, 100% kill participation, and 2 kills crucially for the Orianna.
Orianna getting a little aggressive here onto Hillsang. Hillsang potentially overstaying his welcome in that mid lane. Chachi going in on MMD.
Gotta watch the damage.
Maokai mitigating so much of that.
Yeah, the damage onto Maokai is so much less consequential than the damage onto Kennen. Doran Blade lifesteal is going to pale in comparison to the Sap Magic passive. That is going to be procs, because Vizicachi is going to be looking to harass and punish the Maokai, and it's just, damage is not going to stick, especially when that Spectre's Cowl is completed.
And of course, the double Doran, such a nice early power spike coming in for the Maokai. Gives everything he wants in that kit.
Well, he might want even more right now, because all he has to do is W and Lee Sin right here, ready to gank. Might be a flash W even. Who knows?
Ready for the setup. Of course, a shortened range in recent patches. Does go in for it. There's the setup. Karsa moving in. Chachi knocked down. Is going to get the stun on Karsa in the end, but a quick slap on the ground. Going to close that kill out.
Looks academic. There was a little mini stun there, stopped the Kennen from ulting early. I think he still would have fallen down, maybe trading another flash, but actually got double flash, so I think he was going to fall one way or the other. Is in the mid.
Oh, Maple getting aggressive on Exile, but they're trading cooldowns back and forth, ult for ult. Exile running forward, trying to get the gravity field onto Maple. Still comes out with a slight edge.
And a lot of damage coming into this top lane, though, and this could be a real issue. Teleport coming through.
Yeah, forcing the TP out of Vizicachi. Already burned the flash onto Maokai, but trading it back for another summoner spell in the end. And Maple unrelenting in the aggression, but meanwhile, Unicorns of Love will get something back.
I don't know if they knew exactly where a move was, because I would expect you to stay around and try to kill this guy again.
Rinse and repeat. Surprise in the brush. Unicorns of Love have not learned from their early mistakes, and Flash Wolves just keep the kills.
That was definitely bad luck.
Yeah.
Vizicachi threw the Shuriken, had the idea, missed both players. Nice positioning in what was clearly a very spacious brush, and picks up a second kill.
The biggest thing to tilt a top laner is you kill him with somebody who has a point and click. He TPs back to the turret while the 2 people are killing it, and then they just do it again.
Exile going to sidestep the arrow there. Maple going to have to walk away, but that's first break going in the favor of Flash Wolves, and we may be poised to go to a game 5 here, because that is a 3K gold lead at 10 minutes.
And the advantage they're getting, crucially, as you just said, Sifa, are giving them gold. Maple They're getting gold versus something like the Inferno Drake. 8% more of not much is not relevant to much later in the game. And it's Flash Wolves keeping up the tempo, getting the gold lead and the push lead in multiple lanes. And you kind of said it, Zyrene, you don't often think about kill pressure from a Maokai, but we are going to start getting close to that position just because the trades are so much more sustained on the side of the Maokai.
Yeah, also his Q does a ton of damage in Kennen. You build a little bit of HP, but in terms of how much you actually have in terms of base stats and in terms of resistances you're going to be building, the Maokai actually does a fair bit amount of damage to you. If you can get multiple Qs off in rotation and enough CDR, you're definitely going down as the Kennen.
It's just one of those things that aren't noticed when it's Maokai versus Renekton, when it's Maokai versus other tanks, when it's just everyone has their own sustains and shields, when it's Kennen who only has, the on-hit lifesteal, 3 health on auto, it is so much more apparent just because over time, again, it's chip damage. Basically, every time the W comes out, every rotation, you're taking 300 health off of a Kennen, it adds up.
Flash Wolves setting up once again in the mid lane. 4 members here. Karsa maybe looking for the gank. Exile backing off until he sniffs this one out. Raptor still being taken away. Exile now forced onto the back foot.
Yeah, about to find out where Karsa is, though.
Oh, moving in on a move. Will back off in the end. Doesn't need to take the 1v1 against the Olaf. Exile positioning himself as best he can to clear out the waves, but has to be careful, has to pay respect, and the team is here to back him up.
Unless they can find a way to baby themselves through the laning phase, pick up gold, and look for team fights. You have to light things for the Flash Wolves, and we already identified that MMD will negate a lot of the power from Unicorns of Love's double AP comp anyway, so having an early lead with the projected team fight advantage as well sets us up for potentially a best of 1 to decide IEM Oakland.
Could all come down to a final game indeed. Of course, the Flash Wolves gold lead maintaining now around 3,000, about 1,000 of that in the pocket of Lee Sin, the completed Warrior Enchantment, the Moby boots that you mentioned earlier, Papa Smithy, constantly threatening for these aggressive dives, have the power to do so now. Lee Sin definitely in his prime, level 9, max rank on that Q, dish out a ton of damage.
Still able to pick up their own blue buffs, so the objectives aren't being pushed to the greatest degree by Flash Wolves, but if they can get anything specifically on Exile, take this out of turret.
Here we go. In goes Karsa. Move is here as well. Karsa kicking him out, looking for the taxi. Exile going to provide it. Maokai on the way in. Move sees the enemy though, and gonna have to back off here.
The move actually altered for damage mostly. Of course, you get that damage boost if you lose the resist, but Solar Maokai had to drop off.
Under tower, taking shots. 3, 4 is going to get stunned up.
Under
the
turret.
tower does so much damage. Flash heal to make it out. Running for his life. Zyra on the way in. Now repeat on the mid lane gank. MMD tanks damage so easily, and Maple on a killing spree.
Just can't afford to make what looked like a really poor mistake from Veritas. The arrow was perfectly timed. Would have almost died without the hero.
No way, Veritas. Get out. Misses the Q. Oh, makes it to safety. Hylissang trying to get the disengage, but he is now set to fall. The knockup comes in. Karsa lining that Q up, and he's on a killing spree as well. The jungle mid making the plays here for Flash Wolves.
And that's the type of synergy we talk about when we talk about the Flash Wolves. Karsa plus Maple, they're the ones who make those plays, but also across the map, they're just getting so much off of that.
Yeah, this is a slaughter. This is the first truly one-sided game we've had all series. Looks like the Flash Wolves are going to be playing themselves into form at precisely the right moment. I just don't see how Unicorns of Love can come back from here.
You gotta feel for Vizicachi. He sees the Maokai walking forward. He knows it means his death. Ooh, Protobound out though.
Wow, that was a situation where you think he's absolutely a goner.
I mean, very rarely does Protobelt the make or break in those situations, but literally everything. Now Karsa looking to rinse and repeat. Veritas caught out. Not quite sure what the positioning was there, but another pick for Flash Wolves and a 6K gold lead now.
Yeah, it's the point in the game where you're looking around the map and your outer turrets are already down. It's so soon in the game and you're just completely being taken advantage of there. You don't have enough in terms of wards to actually place down and enough in terms of duration.
But it's not all just academic. You can say, yep, it makes sense, but we should commend specifically Flash Wolves for profiting on the return ganks. The first ganks have been good, or they've made mistakes and they profited from those, but it's coming back to bot, it's coming back to top lane. It's pathing and using just the knowledge that you have over your opponent that's really allowed what should have been maybe a small lead to grow into what is more of a blowout lead.
Absolutely. I love how Karsa's been playing this because he's just being really mean. He's making sure that they have no wiggle room. If you get somebody's flash, make sure they have to be underneath their turret or you punish them for it. If you get the TP from the Kennen and Vizicachi misplays, you kill him once, then you have to kill him again immediately afterwards. It's just try to tilt him, do whatever it takes, and Karsa has been honestly doing what would tilt almost any player.
Almost overwhelming how much pressure the Lee Sin has been putting down. Every single, look, both top and bottom side, the chain ganks coming in, making sure that no one is farming comfortably, that no one feels safe in their lanes.
This is one of those games where you get that issue where you think about as,
Oh,
you know,
no, he's gone,
going to
he's
casually
gone.
kill Veritas again. You get to that position where it's like, okay, what does it look like where Unicorns of Love win this game? And how does that even happen with how big the lead here is with Flash Wolves? It's a sort of game where you look at the comps and you're like, this game is going to hit a tipping point eventually, even if there's Snowball from the Unicorns of Love, whether Maokai specifically is going to answer what Unicorns of Love, the question that they're posing. But with such a big Snowball lead on the team that outscales, we're going to have to see the game extended crazily or a series, and I'm talking about 3 to 4 team fight mistakes.
Once again, Protobell tries to save him, but at the end of the day, the Twisted Maelstrom going to make that a relatively easy pickup.
Yeah, he used his Lightning Rush at the same time that MMD actually rooted him, so the entire speed boost duration from Kennan's E ended up just eating the root, and that's it. And then afterwards, he's slowed from the Q, so there's no way he's getting out of that.